Hello, chat. Here's the thing. Every single F124 livery has been revealed. So we are going to quick do a little tier list ranking, and then at the end, I'm going to rank them all. My least favorite to my favorite. I'll be honest, I haven't given this a lot of thought, so this is going to be very interesting. But yeah, this is going to be good because we got some exactly the same liveries this year, and we got some pretty different ones. So, without further ado, welcome to Tier List Ranking 2024 of the F1 liveries. So, if you've never done a tier list before and you don't know how these work, basically there are 5 different categories: S, A, B, C, and F. So here's how we are going to kind of define them. S tier is like the cream of the crop. Like, this is a gas livery. Well done to the team. Absolute fire. Looks good. A tier is like, this is a solid livery. Very nice. Could be improved. You know, maybe there's just a little too much carbon on it. B tier is pretty mid. Like, maybe it's good, but it's just not new, not unique. You know, pretty mid. C is a weird one because it's bad, but you can kind of like still respect it a little bit, even though it looks bad. And F tier is, this livery goes straight to the garbage. This is a trash livery. Start from scratch, whichever team's on this, and redo it. So we are just going to go left to right with these liveries that are currently in this tier list, starting with the Aston Martin livery. Now, if you haven't seen, this is a 2024 Aston Martin livery. It's basically the same as last year, with a little more carbon and a little less green. Now, what I will say, and I will give them points on this, and Alpine could take some notes, is that even though it does have carbon on it, they put carbon in the right... That's the Red Bull livery. What the frick? They put carbon in the right spots, where if you look at the car, you don't see a lot of the carbon depending on the most of the angles you'd be looking at it from, which is great. I like that. And the green does honestly look nice. So I'm going to say, personally, we can hear from chat. So here's my thoughts. I think Aston Martin, I'm going to be honest, I think it's A tier. It's low A tier for sure. But they did a good job of figuring out how to add carbon without taking away from the livery, which is great. We love that. Now, next up is the Ferrari livery. All right, this is the Ferrari livery. I'm gonna be honest, it's basically the same. It is basically the same livery. The only slight difference is like the yellow around the numbers, which I will say does look good. It does look good. And like they did add a little more yellow. It does look basically the same. There is definitely more carbon, just exposed carbon. But again, just like Aston Martin, they hit it pretty well. So you can't really tell. You can't really tell there's a ton of exposed carbon. I'm gonna have to say, Ferrari for me, I'm seeing B's, A's. I'm gonna have to say, it's not S. It's close. Hello. There we go. Ferrari is upper A tier for me. I like the addition of the little bit of yellow. I think they did a good job of adding the carbon without taking too much away. And for me, it's just solid. Like, it looks good. It always looks good. Next up, the Red Bull. I'm not even gonna pull up a photo of the Red Bull because you all know what the Red Bull looks like. It is literally not changed in years. I will say it's still a great livery. You can't complain about it. But because it's been the same so long, it's B. It's a B tier. It's fine. It's, it's just there. One of these days, they're going to give us a brand new livery, and people are going to actually lose their genuine minds. Like, genuinely lose their minds, and it's going to be wild. But, I mean, can't complain. I will, if we're talking about, like, car design, though, this is an S tier because of the new side pods. I cannot wait to see what that's going to do. I'm very excited. Okay, this is the 2024 Haas livery. I don't think it's exposed carbon. Maybe it is, and they've painted over it, but I think it is just black, actually. I will say it's better. It's a better livery than their other ones. It is a better. Is it exposed carbon? Son of man. Well, they tricked me. They got me on that. It's a better livery than some of their past ones, and it's still like, it's not bad. But I think for me, and chat's kind of agreeing, it's a C. It's a C tier for me. It's not horrible. It doesn't even go to the bin, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of there. It's just interesting. All right. Next up, we have the McLaren livery. Now we know Josh is a McLaren fan. He's a McLaren fan. But I will say there is exposed carbon on this car. That's just a fact. But let's see if we can find another photo of it. But because of the orange, it does look good. Like, I am a fan of more black on a car. And because the other, color is papaya, orange, it works. It works kind of well. I think getting rid of the blue was a good call. I think if they got rid of those stupid chrome wheels, it would be S tier. But because of there being chrome wheels still, it's an A tier. It's solid. It could be a little bit better to make it S tier, I think. But I like it. I really like it. I think it's going to look great on track. I think it's going to look great under the lights, honestly. It's going to look so good under the lights. Next up, we have the Mercedes livery. Now, this livery was interesting for me. Because at first, I was like, oh, like the silver on the top, like kind of weird. It's sort of black. There's a lot of carbon. Kind of not. I'm going to be honest, this livery has really grown on me. I think the subtle use of the silver on top, the carbon on the side, kind of fading in. This car looks friggin' good. Like, it looks good, y'all. I think because of that, I'm going to have to agree with Samuel. That is an S tier livery. The Mercedes, gold. That car is going to look so good under the lights in Bahrain. I cannot wait to see it. It's a little like silver arrows combined with black. Love it. The red is out of place. I'll be honest, I like the little splash of red. I think it's fun. It's playful. All right. The next livery we have is Steak F1 Sauber Formula 1 something. Who knows what their name is. Is this very interesting livery. Now, Josh has some thoughts. Because I was sitting in the airport when they released, or no, where was I sitting? I don't remember where I was sitting. I was sitting somewhere when they released this car. And instantly I was like, this is disgusting. This car looks terrible. Yeah, and then I saw the car on track. And I will say it grew on me a little bit more. Wow, chat does not like this livery. That is hilarious. It grew on me a little more after seeing it on track. I still think there's something with the green that I can't place it. I don't know if it's too bright or something. I think they went for a bold call here. And it should have worked, but it didn't. I don't think it's bad enough for me to put in F tier, but it's for sure below the Haas. I mean, it is hovering around F tier. It was F tier until I saw it on track. Yes, it looks like a cheap highlighter green. And I will say that's what saves it, is on track it looks less like a cheap highlighter green, I feel like. So, those are my thoughts. Steak car could be better. I feel like it could be way better. But what are you going to do? Here we go. All right, 3 liveries to go. Up next, the V-Carb livery. Okay, the V-Carb livery. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I love this livery. I love the V-Carb livery. I really like it. There's not a lot of exposed carbon. They somehow put Visa on the side of the car and it looks good. I don't understand. It is a Toro Rosso for sure. 2.0. Jamie is correct. But you can't deny the fact that this car looks what the frick? That this car looks genuinely amazing in my opinion. Like, genuinely so good. It's an S tier for me, and it's above Mercedes in my opinion. I cannot wait to see that car on track. I hope that they're good, decently good. Because seeing that car pull up to like a podium spot, oh my god, it'd be freaking amazing. It would be freaking amazing. It does kind of look like a Red Bull can, but it still looks great. Big fan of the V-carb livery. I know not everyone's going to agree with me on that. That's fine. That's okay. You all can disagree in the comments. We'll do a little poll afterward to see if you agree with these rankings or not. But yeah, V-carb, high on that list for me. All right, next up, we have the Williams livery. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's basically the same with a little more exposed carbon. It doesn't look bad. It does look basically the same. I've always enjoyed the Williams livery. I think it looks simple. I think it looks clean. But at the end of the day, it's nothing crazy. It's a solid A tier. I think for me it's probably no, I'd say it's above the Aston Martin actually. It's below the Ferrari, but it's above the Aston Martin. It's just solid. You know, it always looks good on track. They did put some more exposed carbon, but again, they worked it in well with the design to make it not look crazy, like it was just a full carbon car. And we appreciate that. We respect that. So yeah, Williams for me, solid like mid A tier for me. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have the Alpine livery. Now, I watched this launch. And if you don't know, they first revealed, let me see if I can find the photo. They first revealed the hypercar, which was sitting right next to the F1 car. The hypercar, all I'll say is, if you haven't seen the Alpine hypercar, go look it up. It looks fantastic. I'm not like a big Alpine fan, but the hypercar does look really good. This car, in my opinion, is terrible, I think. I see what they were trying to go for. I really do. It looks awful. And you might be saying like, oh, Josh, but like, look at like, there's nice color. There's a balance between like the color and the black. You're correct. There's a good balance. But again, the exposed carbon is literally in the worst spots. It is directly down the middle. It is the entire side pods. This is just a black car with a few splashes of color, which, let's clarify, Mercedes did the exact same thing basically, but they made it work and they made it look good. This looks like they made a car full carbon and then they went, oh shit, we need to put some kind of livery on this. And they just threw some colors on and they were like, here, pink here, blue here, boom, done. It's trash. From a design standpoint, absolutely trash. I'm gonna find the hypercar because it's genuinely incredible. Like, guys, stunning. Like, it looks so good and it's so simple. It's blue with a little splash of red in the back, but it looks so freaking clean. And then you go look at the friggin' Formula 1 car and you're like, what is this car? Like, what is this trash car? So for me, the Alpine is the only one that's an F tier. That is gonna make some people mad, I know for sure, but it's genuinely horrible. Those are my final rankings. But now I'm just gonna do a speedy ranking of least favorite to favorite. So obviously, here are my 2024 F1 liveries ranked 10 to 1. Number 10, the Alpine livery. You all know why. We've talked about it. It doesn't look good. It looks terrible, honestly. I can't stand it. Number 9, I'm gonna have to go with the Haas livery. Again, it's not horrible, but I just don't like it that much, that's just my opinion. Number 8, I'm gonna have to go with Stake F1 team. I think the green looks better on track, but it's so weirdly bright and strange, and I don't know how I feel about it, so it's gonna have to go at 8. 7 is going to be the Williams for me. I do like the Williams livery. I love the way it looks on track. And it's very close to number 6, which is Red Bull. I've always just enjoyed the Red Bull livery. I think even though they've never changed it, why fix something that looks great in my opinion? So don't fix it. So that's why Red Bull is at number 6. Number 5 is the Aston Martin livery. Again, they did a great job of hiding a lot of the carbon so that you just see the color, which is great. So that's why Aston Martin is number 5. Number 4 is the Ferrari livery. The Ferrari does look good, and I think the top 4 are pretty close for me. The Ferrari looks good, but it's just, it's just solid. It's just a solid livery. Number 3 is... Oh, this is so hard. Number 3 is the McLaren livery. I do think they could add a little more papaya, but I do like the balance of the black and the papaya. I think it looks really nice. Take away the chrome wheels, and Dunzo. That is a top tier livery for me. Number 2 is the Mercedes livery. I love the blending of the silver and the black. I think the little splash of red looks great. I can't wait to see that car on track. It's going to be stunning. And number 1 is the V-Carb livery. Yes, they have the worst name in the history of F1, but an incredible livery that just looks so good. It's going to look so good on track, and I am just impressed by the amount of different colors they have in there and how well it worked. It's kind of what the Alpine was going for, but it's actually well designed instead of just throwing random colors on a car and being like, yeah, livery. So yeah, those are my 10 to 1. Do you guys agree or do you disagree? Let me know.